Hello everyone out there, my name is Mariana. Today I would like to talk about my research project. I'm doing this project as a proposal for my trabajo de grado. The title is Reflecting on Language-Culture Connections and Exploration of ICC Understandings in Colombian Adult Students' Narratives. There are various justifications for carrying out this study. First of all, we believe that this research work will contribute to the domain of intercultural communicative competence, since we aim to reflect on instructional practices that could foster awareness on the language and culture connections. This also is beneficial for the participants. We want to broaden their perspectives as language learners, and we want to go beyond the promotion of tolerance. We also recognize that one of the most important objectives of an English learner should be to become an intercultural speaker, able to solve any communicative problem based on cultural differences. So let's talk about the constructs we considered in this study. There are three constructs. The first one is called Language and Culture Connections. We took Lidicott and Scarino's framework. They basically say that culture relates to language in 5 different ways. First of all, language as speakers' knowledge of the world. Secondly, in word connotation. Thirdly, in genres. Fourthly, in pragmatic norms. And finally, in the linguistic form. The second concept we have here to consider is intercultural communicative competence. For this construct, we considered Trin and Beck definition. They basically define this competence as the ability to interact respectfully with people from different backgrounds, recognizing their culture and their own. The last construct we have in this project is narratives as an expression of culture. So here we take the framework from Merdova and Webster. Both authors agree that narratives illustrate human backgrounds and show the development of personal stories. In this study, narratives are going to take the form of anecdotes. For the justification of the problem, we basically based it in various factors. First of all, we noticed a growing need of implementing intercultural related content in the EFL classrooms and in curriculums as well. Secondly, my partner and I, we both worked for some time in private institutions for language learning, and we noticed that most of learners have as motivation to study English for utilitarian purposes, rather performing well on interviews, getting a job, or making some businesses. So the purpose of this study is basically to broaden their perspectives of learning, showing the ways in which language and culture are related. Therefore, the research question is: what understandings of ICC emerge in Colombian adult students' narratives? The objectives for this study are 3. First of all, to analyze learners' ICC development when establishing the relationship between language and culture connections. Secondly, to explore the learner's interpretations of cultural values when learning a foreign language. And finally, to determine to what extent a standardized learning process fosters ICC. So this is a qualitative study, but more specifically, this study takes the nature or the approach of narrative inquiry. According to Mertova and Webster, they say that this type of study studies problems as forms of storytelling involving characters with both personal and social stories. It contributes to research on teaching and learning through its ability to frame the study of human experience. We want our study to depict and understand the different realities that are embedded when exposing our participants to cultural and language relationships. Therefore, a narrative inquiry gives us the possibility of approaching such realities subjectively and reliably. In this study, the instruments for data collection are mainly these two you see here. First of all, passive observer journals, and secondly, narratives. These narratives are going to be in the written form, and also they are going to take the shape of anecdotes. In terms of the population and setting, we are going to work with adult students from a private language institute here in Bogota, Colombia. These adult students have learned English as a foreign language. They have diverse learning backgrounds and proficiency levels, but most of them appear to be in the level B1 according to the Common European Framework of Reference. Now, for the instructional design, we designed a syllabus on the topic of language and culture connections. This syllabus was thought to last for about 4 weeks. During these 4 weeks, we want to develop 3 cycles. The first cycle is called Getting to Know My Culture. In this cycle, we want that students recognize aspects of surface and deep culture, but from Colombian people. The second cycle is called Reflecting on English Influence. The objective of this cycle is to reflect on the impact of English and the cultural impact of EFL in our daily language use. The third cycle is called Cultural Comparisons. This is the longest cycle in the syllabus, and here we wanted to include the culture of speakers of English from all around the world, not only from the native speakers. This is because we recognize English nowadays is the international language. Finally, another objective of this cycle is to analyze how culture has influence in language use. We are also going to use the methodology of task-based learning. Task-based learning is a methodology that aims to students' production of language. That is the main objective. It could be interpreted as an inverted PPP approach because it focuses on production first and gives less importance to language form. The stages for task-based learning are 3: pre-task, during task, and post-task.